Hi guys, Matt Thomas here at Cedar Rock Studio Guitar Gallery in Indiana, and today I've got a very special Doerr Legacy signature model on my lap. Now the Legacy is actually only 15.5 across, but also being the signature series, it's got this additional arm bevel which makes it feel even smaller. Now this one actually features a very high grade moon spruce top on it that actually has a little bit of stripes through it, which I love when they get a little bit of figuring to them like that. I think it adds a good bit of character. Now as you flip it around, this is just outrageous. Look at this gorgeous Brazilian rosewood with some sapwood down the center like that, that's been matched perfectly. But there's this little bit of green and gray tones all throughout this bottom half here that you don't see too often in cuts of Brazilian. Now, another thing I want to note is it's got this lovely amber kind of appearance to it, especially the sides. They're just quite unique. Now, it also has a Brazilian rosewood rosette here with an ebony center ring that way, so it actually makes the sound hole look bigger. But I think it adds just a lovely contrast in the artistry of what it is. You can make the sound hole smaller, even though it looks bigger, which does change the overall tap tone of the air of the instrument. Now it does have a ebony bridge, and it's just 2 1/4 on here, so it's perfect for either flat picking or finger picking. And very standard feel to it, if you will. Now it's got an ebony fretboard with an assortment of some inlays here. It's got some snowflakes, it's got some cat eyes, it's also got the diamonds. So you kind of look around and you get a little bit of everything in here. But what I thought was quite interesting is the abalone that he chose has a lot of really interesting colors, some really bright greens, and also some purples that kind of really pop out at you. Now, as you look down, it does have these silver pipe inlays for your side fret markers, which make it really easy to find where your frets are with this ebony bound neck here. Now, speaking of neck, it is a 5-piece neck, and as you trace the neck up here, that 5-piece center strip extends all the way through this back cap here. But if you were to feel in between here, what I thought was the coolest thing is these are 2 separate pieces of veneer that he went ahead and put on here and carved them with a nice little 45 bevel all the way through the center of this. And this is actually Brazilian over top of ebony with just a subtle little maple purfling in between the edges of where the 45 meets the Brazilian. I'll try to make sure I blow up a photo for you guys. Now these are also shallow tuners, which are just so nice and smooth. Now when you flip it over and look at this head cap here, it's also got a gorgeous cut of Brazilian on it with this lovely 45-degree ebony that kind of comes up and meets with yet again that maple purfling line to separate the two. And this, I've always loved Doerr's signature, or I guess logo, however you want to define it. But to me, I feel like that's the way that he would have written his D to start his name. So it's always special for me to see these instruments. He's one of my favorite, and also one of the few that I've seen does this very interesting V brace across the back. So when you look in here, you kind of get that as well. Now, this thing is set up immaculate, as are most of the Doerrs that I've gotten my hands on. But what I thought was quite interesting is how sensitive this thing is. You really don't have to play it hard and you get a ginormous tone out of it. But it's just got this subtle rumble, so it's very even across all the spectrum. Now, it is, I forgot to mention, here at the nut width, it's also 1 3/4, so it's really not all that difficult to wrap your thumb around if you like to do that for your playing style. But it's also got a very even C, and the cheeks are pretty carved over, so you don't feel where the binding is whatsoever. You just curl over and feel the edge of the fretboard, which I really like. It allows you to pop your thumb over real quick and then return to the center of the neck. Now, if you've got any other further questions about this phenomenal 2017 Doerr Legacy Signature, message Alan at cedarrockstudio.com, and thanks for listening.